2, 1.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.
That should be a a karaoke hit.
Right.
Good morning. How are you? Well, good afternoon to you, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. More like closer to evening. Yeah, but
Oh.
yeah.
What time is it over there right now?
4:15.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's still afternoon.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It's 10:15 a.m. over here. Wild. So what's happening in France with you? What's going on? What's the news?
There's lots of things. Well, more Europe than anything else. Yesterday, the Chancellor of Germany, I don't know if you saw this, came out and said that Pax Americana was done.
Really?
Yeah. Big talk from a country that has 38,000 American troops and many American bases to say that shit. But Germany, I think, is living in a fantasy like most of Europe. I mean, Germany's not the only one that has a lot of bases throughout its countryside, except for France. Charles de Gaulle made sure that there were no American bases after World War II. They're like, fuck no, get out. But everyone else took them in.
Wow.
So him talking this smack is really funny because if you know about Operation Gladio, which was the stay-at-home NATO troops, which basically caused a whole bunch of terrorism during the 60s and 70s, basically framing the left, communists, and it was the fascists. They're just it's just a unit clown saying shit. He's trying to bring in conscription into Germany to go to war with Russia. And historically looking at it, whichever way you see Russia, one way or the other, it's like fighters, right? If you look at the historical record,
Right.
Germany's never done it. Not even when it had the upper hand as the war machine it was during the Nazis. It's not that war machine. It doesn't even have a nuke.
Right.
France has a nuke, but Germany doesn't. So
Right.
there's a lot of not being able to accept. And it's painful to say this, I guess, for some Europeans to hear this.
Right.
Europe is a vassal and a colony of the United States. I wouldn't want it to be so, but that's just the way it is.
Flipped, right?
Yeah, that's just the reality of it. It's harsh.
So the student becomes the master, the American colony becomes the controller of.
Hey, ancient Greece ended up being a colony of Rome.
Right.
Yes. Shit happens, right?
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about the Macron suing Candace Owens on a defamation suit?
I think it's okay. So on the Candace Owens side, she's getting a lot of great press no matter what. Yeah. So she'll make up that money, whatever that she's getting sued for, easily with sponsorship and all the other bullshit online. From the Macron side, it's kind of stupid.
Right.
Because it keeps this rumor going alive.
Right.
You know?
She should just drop her drawers and on television. Just end this.
You know, like I've said,
look, there's nothing there.
to me, it's like, who cares? What's more troublesome is that he was a kid.
Right.
That's more troublesome, and that really comes down to what the hell is a 40-some-year-old doing with a 15-year-old? You know, man or woman or whatever.
This pedophilia is all over the place. It's like riddled, you know?
Yep.
I find it disheartening, you know?
It
You know,
is.
when I was younger, you would hear stories like that, like in church, like hey, somebody did this or somebody did that, and you're like, oh my, what the fuck? Or even when I was in high school, I remember a friend of mine was sleeping with his middle school teacher, and we were like, I think 10th or 11th grade, and the chick was like this old, older lady. She was probably in her 40s, riddled with pimples. I remember, I think she was either a science or a history teacher, but I remember one summer we're hanging out on, in New York City, you're a kid, you hang out on the street, right? So we're hanging out in front of this guy's building. I grew up in a
The
house.
stoop.
Yeah. So we hung out on the stoop. It's about like 18 or 20 of us just hanging out, just, doing what kids do,
Talking shit.
yeah, talking shit. And then there's this car sitting across from us with a woman smoking a cigarette. And she was there like all summer, like every day. She was like pulling up and just staring at us, and we were like, what's going on? And sometimes we'd be cracking up, laughing, like, oh, that's my teacher from middle school. He was banging his teacher from middle school. and we were
Oh,
like,
that's crazy.
and we were like, what the fuck? It's like, and we were already like almost seniors, we were like in the middle of but she was like so obsessed with the guy, and he was like, oh, she's married, she has kids, and but she was just like smoking cigarettes, watching him. And then she like very rarely we would interact. And I saw, I mean, one day I remember she was like crying in the car, and I was like, dude, why don't you go talk to her? Tell her to leave. It's kind of weird. So he went over and he talked to her for a bit, and then they drove away together. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like,
Yeah.
it's disturbing.
It is, because it isn't like someone's 25, the other person 35 or 40. You still, I mean, the age difference, you could be judgmental of it if you want to,
Mhm.
but a 25-year-old is definitely much better. Um, they know who they are a little better
Mhm.
than a teenager or a kid, because they're kids,
Right.
right? The other thing, it's just to me, and maybe I'm wrong.
Mhm.
I'm wrong many times, but maybe it's a control thing, right?
Right.
They get off not necessarily just the sexual side, but it's I have control over someone and someone looks up to me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's
it,
definitely that.
it's fucked up.
It's like a megalomania type of thing, or
Hmm.
like, and then people, I don't understand it, but I always found it interesting how it was always in the church where you found people like that hiding. You know, when I worked in prison, I remember a lot of these guys. They were like, "Oh, let's become Muslims," and I was like, "Whoa, why is everyone becoming Muslim?" I was surprised. I didn't realize there's so many Muslims in prison.
Malcolm X.
A lot of them, yeah, Malcolm X, and there was some the dudes, they were in the school area, so they sometimes you listen to what they're saying, talking. There was a good message there. It seemed like they're trying to reform the prisoners, so these guys from the outside would come and talk to uh, the let's say
Inmates.
inmates. We call them inmates. That's considered a derogatory term
Oh,
now.
is it? Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
which I found out. I found out the hard way. I was talking on a prison radio show, and I referred to my students as inmates, and they were like, "They're incarcerated individuals."
Oh, okay. Incarcerate is the proper word now. All right.
Yeah, so it's like, we called them inmates back then. This was like 2000. It's
Yeah,
like
things have changed.
things have changed. The words change, but the reality is the same. These people were basically locked up,
Yeah.
whether they're innocent or guilty or otherwise, yet to be proven. Sitting awaiting their sentence. They were in jail. But some of the guys were doing it and they said it outward. Some of these like American dudes are like, like these black guys are like, oh, I'm just going in there because they have better food. It's like, wait a minute. You're like, and then, some of these guys are like, so it was almost like you had the genuine guys that were coming out really just trying to reform people, which is a good thing, right?
Hmm.
Reforming, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Catholic. They all, every religion they had a thing in the prison for everybody, which is good.
Hmm.
The Muslims are the most popular because because of the dietary things, right? So
Hmm.
they were given better food. So a lot of these guys were like, some of the guys that I knew that were like scum of the earth. They were just like, we're going in there only for the menu. But that's New York, right? Everyone's kind of like
There's
trying
always
to
an angle.
get from something, It's like
There's always an angle in New York.
there's always an angle in New York. Yes, so I mean, and it's funny. I remember at one time I was like, I really enjoyed listening and talking to the guys that conducted the service. And at one point, I remember even considering, oh, maybe I should check this out. Maybe I should study, Islam. And then like 9/11 happened, and I was like, what the fuck? It's like literally like, what the fuck? It's like
Basically, Islam is like Christianity with an extra guy.
basically, honestly, as a non-religious person, but a person who has studied religion most of his life, I feel that all religions are similar.
Yeah.
Especially the monotheistic one.
Which are not so mono when you start to dig into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Christianity. I mean, Judaism had like what, 3 gods? You had Baal, you had El, you had Yahweh, right? Those were the big guys,
And it tells you right in the 10 Commandments.
Oh yeah, right
Thou
there.
shalt not have any gods before me.
Right.
Nothing about after me. You can have
Right.
as many as you want after me, but
Right.
I'm more important than the rest of them, right?
Right. Yeah, the Bible indirectly talks about other gods, right? That God sat in an assembly of other gods, right?
He even had a wife.
All right, exactly. It was
I forget her name.
Sophia. I believe it was Sophia. And there was another name for her as well. But yeah, originally it was the Father, Mother, and Son, but then Mother became Holy Spirit. So they took away the femininity from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's Heru, Isis, and it's
yeah, it's
Cyrus. That's Set. It's the same story told over and over. You got Gilgamesh, right?
We repackage it.
Repackage.
Hey, we're gonna relabel it, rebranded it, and we remarket it.
Right.
You'll never know.
Right. It's I mean, now we just call them Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and sometimes Aquaman.
Sometimes, yeah. Poseidon,
Zeus, right? Exactly.
Hades,
right?
Athena,
yes.
Yeah.
Same difference. But yeah. So, I wanted to just talk about this book real quick. I believe it was in our deleted episode because we had our first 2 episodes banned. I don't know why still, but it was against Facebook regulations or what have you. And they scrubbed it from StreamYard, so we can't even access it. But we said something.
Oh yeah, we said a lot of some things, and I'm sure.
So we got Vietamerica by GB Tran. This is a great book. I love the art in it. I always love comics that don't have like superhero-ish art. I mean, it's like really good. It's about this guy who goes back to Vietnam, and he's basically Americanized. I believe they were from North Carolina or something like that. But he starts meeting his extended family abroad, and he's older. He's not a little kid. So it's like he's learning about his parents, why they fled Vietnam. He finds out that his grandparents were actually, his grandfather joined the Viet Cong during the war in the United States, and that his grandmother was having an affair with a French soldier, and then you realize that his parents didn't leave Vietnam because they wanted a better life in America. They were just so politically compromised with the turmoil that the United States and France created between the Vietnamese and the Viet Cong and the Catholics, right? That they left to America because they left everything behind because they were afraid for their lives that they were going to be killed because there was a mass killing after the United States left that place in 1975.
Probably the collaborators, right?
Yeah. So if you help the United States, you're seen as an enemy, or if you were like I mean, some villages were being fed by the United States, getting inoculations, getting healthcare, getting educated. And those people were just farmers just going like, hey, we've been taken overrun. There's nothing we can do. They didn't
Mhm.
fight back. They kind of just accepted the colonization, and then they were murdered by the Viet Cong as traitors. So
I mean, here in France, after World War II, after the occupation, I mean, there were people who went to jail for collaborating, but
mhm.
there were a lot of women who had their heads shaved and they were publicly paraded and
Yeah,
shamed for
because
having collaborated.
yeah,
It's just the natural thing that happens, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
If you're working with the invader, you're seen as a traitor. That's
yeah. I forgot what movie it was I saw. It was like this woman. It was a story exactly about that, about this guy who was a Nazi and this woman who basically was dating him. And I think she was a German Jew, but she wanted to survive. The women had to use what they had to survive. They used their
yeah,
their their bodies and then at the end, like you said, they shaved their heads. They took like shit and threw shit on them and all this stuff.
yep,
And
yep.
it even showed that some of the Jewish people that were helping other people get out, that they were actually setting up Jewish families. It was written by a Jewish, I forgot the name of that movie. So what happens is that this guy was collecting gold from Jewish families, taking their wealth and their valuables, but he was actually a Nazi collaborator and setting up families and having them murdered. And
Well,
you know,
George Soros,
you know,
for the conservatives out there,
mhm,
uh, not that I think of George Soros one way or another different from Elon Musk or the rest of them. To me,
mhm.
they're all like rich assholes.
Right, right.
George Soros, when he was a kid, he helped the Nazis. He
Mhm.
collaborated, and he was interviewed about that on 60 Minutes. And he was like, "If I didn't do it, someone else would have done it," sort of thing.
Right,
So it happened a lot more than we like to think. We like to think that everything was like Schindler's List.
right. Right.
Unfortunately, it's a mixed bag of a lot of shit that happens.
Yeah, I mean, war is ugly,
Hmm. Yep.
and,
War's ugly and stupid
and stupid, and it's started by stupid people.
by
Yeah,
greedy people for stupid reasons.
yeah. I mean,
You know, um,
yeah. I mean, it's very freaking terrifying. The stuff. I mean, we've been over whelmed with movies. I think we've had more years of movies about Nazis than the actual war in Germany.
and you know what?
you
Oh,
know,
of course, yeah.
it-
But Japan doesn't get the same hate.
right, right. And what's interesting
Recently,
is that
there was a video game released in China that dealt
right,
with with all the massacres that they did,
right,
and Japanese were coming out on social media and Japanophiles. I love Japanese culture. I
right.
also love Spanish culture too. But I'm never going to tell you that Spanish people didn't do wrong by what they did with slavery or try to minimize it or the colonization. And the same thing goes for Japan. They did a lot of wrong things and own it. That's what you did, you know, because they're trying to make it seem like, oh, we didn't do so bad. No, you did. To the point that even Nazis were like, whoa, you
Right.
guys have gone too far, especially the rape of Nanjing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're bayoneting babies, so
Yeah.
um, but they don't get as much hate as the Nazis do.
Yeah. This one, I think it's called the Black Book. Now I'm looking at it.
Mm.
It might have been the Black Book.
There was
Ye
a book I read just this past year. It was really creepy. It was
Mhm.
about a serial killer in Paris during the occupation,
Right.
and he would promise people safe passage to Argentina. He was like a doctor. They would go to this one meeting place they're supposed to heal this house, and
Right.
he would murder them and basically get rid of their bodies in acid and shit. So the
Oh,
only reason he got caught, well, he got caught at first. Well, they found out about the murders
right.
during the occupation,
Right.
and the only reason he ended up getting caught is because he lied about being in the resistance many years afterwards. But for a
Oh,
while, Parisians were thinking it was actually the Nazis who did it.
right.
Uh, but yeah, this guy's like, It's estimated he could have killed up to 37 people,
Jeez.
possibly more. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. And let me just tell you, reading that and going into Paris as I'm reading that and reading about how they would ship people out from there's one particular town I go by called Compiègne. And
Come
Compiègne
here.
is one of yeah, and it's the town, and they actually have a little memorial to it where they
Mm,
would ship people to Germany from France.
right.
So as I'm sitting there reading this and I'm looking over, I'm like, nah, I decided to read it at home because it was just
Right.
too close to home. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. So the book is called Murder in the City of Lights.
Wow.
All factual. It's wild. It's wild shit. So
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, I was trying to show the screenshot of this thing, but it's not sharing.
It's a black book.
It's called the Black Book. I was trying to
Well, that's why you got a black screen. It's so black you can't see
You
it.
can't see it. That's let me try that again. Share screen. Let's see. Share. Let's see if it shows up. Let's see.
Oh, there we
It could
go.
be because it's Amazon or something that it, who knows. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. The Black Book. It's actually a very good movie. Heartbreaking. So yeah, it's a really interesting movie. I would say it's better than what's his face's movies.
Spielberg?
Tarantino's.
Oh, Tarantino, that asshole.
Yeah.
You heard he went after Paul Dano, right?
No, I did not.
You know who Paul Dano is? He's the guy who is in That Will Be Blood with Daniel
Oh,
Day-Lewis. He's the preacher.
right.
And he was saying that he's a shit actor and he ruined the movie and all this other crap. What people don't know
He's been saying a
is
lot
that
of crap lately.
Paul Dano is pro-Palestinian
Oh,
and Tarantino is full-on pro-Israel. Like he's been visiting the troops.
he's living there. He's
He's
living
living there, you know. I mean, you can live in a place. You don't have to go visit the troops.
right. Oh,
I live here in France. I'm not going, hey, I got to go see the French troops. Say hi, Vive la France,
I know there's a whole thing with the conscription. Some videos that I had showed you about the conscription, where the Orthodox are like refusing to join the military, and there's been a lot of demonstrations on that.
Yeah, that's been a long-standing issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Orthodox are also the ones who say that Israel shouldn't even exist.
Right.
Because according to their religious, and for anyone who's going to freak out, look it up. They say that man can't give Israel to man, that it has to be God because God took their land away from them the last time for whatever reason, religious reason they made up. So, yeah, it's Jewry is much more complicated.
The whole it's a whole thing because the Zionists are basically atheists, right? For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
I would say except for the Christian Zionists that behave like they don't believe in God, but swear Jesus up inside. I guess
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Bible thumpers, it's like the Christian Zionists are like, but the founders, Herzl, he was a atheist, so he did not.
And the Jews who left after the Holocaust went to Israel.
Mhm.
Their whole thinking was, if there's a God, how could he allow this to happen to us?
Right.
And that's why there was a bit of a crisis for them. And if you look at it from their perspective, they have a point. The other perspective is, don't go and mistreat other people.
Right.
But for Catholicism, here's the wild part. This is what it's interesting that Charlie Kirk, they're saying that he was moving towards Catholicism.
Right.
In Catholicism, Zionism is a heresy.
Right.
Because it's basically saying that not because of the land or anything else, it's just basically saying that Jesus didn't do what he was supposed to do, that he has to do it later on a second time. The whole point of him coming and saving us, which however you feel about that, was done the first time, according to Catholicism. You don't need to do it again physically, right? So that's a huge point of contention between Catholics and stuff. So Charlie Kirk being interested in Catholicism, at least according to Candace Owens, um, is a shot across the bow to Zionism.
Mm,
You know,
right, right.
not that I think he got shot in the neck for it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I don't
that's
know. They had that whole trap door thing. I don't know if there was a body swap or what. I don't know. I'm still in the extremist camp of is he really dead because of the lack of blood that came out. And the guys, when you look at the video footage out there, that the guys are number one laughing. His handlers are laughing while his hand is up in the air, and then they drag him to the car. It's like, who laughs? And then there's no blood on their hands. If there's a guy who got shot in the jugular, there'd be blood all over the place.
but
Uh,
who's to say he was like if I was to take
I think it's a false flag personally, but I'm an extreme, you know.
right, but I could take it to another level though, right? What if he hated his guts as an employer
Right, maybe.
and you're just laughing because you're an asshole? Two,
But
what
you
if it
still be
wasn't
covered
a
in blood.
shot? It was something else that was
Right.
done to him to make it look like it was a shot.
Yeah,
And
like
that's
a
why the
remote
blood didn't.
explosion. Yeah, like a remote explosion from that microphone, or who knows. But
Who knows? My thing is that in the end, did he really move that much in our society? No. It's a
not in our generation. Maybe with the younger people. I mean,
he was a spectacle. They were trying to get him.
spectacle.
It's spectacle.
They were trying to elevate him to that level of like a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X on the opposite side. You know, it's the Twilight Zone. Everything is left is right. Everything up is
But if
down.
you're gonna do that, you don't do that in Mormon country.
Right. Exactly.
That's like, you know what? No disrespect to Mormons. I'm gonna exaggerate this shit. But hey, I want to kill this guy amongst the KKK and then blame it on black people.
Right.
Well, nobody's gonna believe that,
Right. Right.
right? So first they were trying to push on us that his killer was a transsexual black person, a Latino, whatever.
Right.
In Mormon country, everybody would know that one person who's dark skinned and transgender
Right.
walking down with a gun. So if you're
Right.
going to do that, if it was planned that way, then you do it in New York,
Right.
Chicago, some LA, some place where you're like, yeah, those damn minorities.
Right.
So I don't know. But the interesting thing is that university is very well known, and Mormon country is very well known to being part of the recruitment for the CIA.
Right. Exactly.
So there you go.
And then on that same note, whether a person's dead or not, and why the media is so focused on it and trying to convince you that the person is dead.
Hmm.
Just like you know, when Iran, before Israel bombed Iran, the leader of Iran basically exposed in the media that they showed drone footage showing that Jeffrey Epstein was alive. The next day they were bombed. There's been more footage since of Jeffrey Epstein being alive on the internet, like new photographs. He's heavier set. He's not as skinny as he was when he was arrested. So that's how you could tell the guy was pretty much thin his entire life. And now you're seeing these heavy set pictures of him
Well, see,
going
on
around.
that, I could see that
And
because
yeah, and then now the media started doubling down after that attack. They've been doubling down on all the Epstein stuff where it's all over the airwaves, you know?
mhm. And see him, I could see
Right.
because he was a heavy hitter.
Hmm.
He wasn't just a mouthpiece who, hey, I look like the annoying orange. I show up and I'm talking
Right.
shit to kids.
Right.
Who
Right.
gives a fuck, right? But him, I could see because when you see the amount of leverage he had people like Chomsky,
Yeah.
Bannon, and I know a lot of people on the left right now. Well, what we call left in the United States, which is really just center, anywhere
Right.
else on the planet, are crying and don't want to talk about Chomsky. Chomsky says some pretty good shit, but let's face it, if you've made it to his age and you haven't had to dodge at least some real physical bullets at some point, or just basically be just cut off completely, and you're
Right.
never interviewed, then you're kind of a little bit of a made man, right?
Right.
because the
Exactly.
system's going, okay, we'll let you do this. You'll pretend that and whatnot. But you know you're a boy, right? Yeah, I know you're a boy. Or Clinton or any of these guys. He had all of them, right? I mean, he was advising on Pakistan. He was saying that the current leader that's locked up, I forget his name, the cricket player, that
Right.
he was dangerous,
Right.
you know. So yeah, that I could see
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
didn't see his cold dead body.
No, we didn't. And there's a gap of footage missing and all that stuff. It's like
Yeah,
the Nixon tapes.
yeah. That I wouldn't be like if it officially got revealed. Oh, he's still alive. I'd be like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Right. So it's like
But, you know, and he was heavily also working with Israel and stuff, and there's a lot of things, you know.
There's a ton of stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? But it's interesting
Yeah, I
because
mean,
this is what they're force feeding the media. The media is kind of just force feeding us this junk. It's like I feel like the regular news has become the National Enquirer. You know.
do you remember the movie Network?
Oh yeah. Oh, yes.
That was supposed to be a parody.
Right.
We've become like that whole scenario is now real. And worse. I mean, I don't think they could even think that they would go to this fucking lunacy. But granted, the CIA used to run fake stories through our media and things like Operation Mockingbird.
Right.
So they'd feed all these fake stories to foreign news sources.
Right.
Then the CIA would turn around and report these over stateside, going, "Yeah, it looks like the Germans, they're
Mm,
reporting that, a bunch of communist midgets are about to take over, XYZ country. We got to go bomb the shit out of it." Really, what we're going to do is, right? We're going to go steal shit. That's.
right. Which brings us to Venezuela and the insanity of stealing an oil ship. They can't prove that they took any drugs, but
It was one giant oil drug
right, with
facility.
oil drug. It's so ridiculous. Like I was just arguing with a Vietnam vet on my Facebook. The guy made comments, former coworker of mine, good guy, you know.
Mhm.
He was a lawyer, Vietnam veteran, teacher, good guy. Nothing bad to say about him, but he's like, I have a feeling he's kind of like defending the whole Trump thing. And I'm just like, no, dude. That's like, why don't they could have intercepted those ships and then show the world, like, hey, these guys are selling drugs, are bringing drugs across. It's international waters, right? They violate international waters all the time, even though they're not supposed to. But look at the flotillas, right? So it's like we're intercepting ships all the time, right? So why is it that you're just bombing these ships and saying there are drugs on it and having no evidence to prove it? But you're trying to go to war with a country based on hearsay and supposed intel from Pete Hegseth, who was a fucking former news Fox commentator. What does he know about?
He should have been a gym teacher.
Yeah, he should have been a gym teacher.
He's the perfect drunk gym teacher.
All right. So I mean, it's interesting that
Well,
it's
there's a long history of that
yeah,
shit. I mean, remember the Maine?
right,
They thought that the Spanish, blew up the ship. We went to war with Spain, which was a dilapidated empire anyway.
right,
American imperialism didn't happen after World War II. It happened
mhm,
in the early 1900s, late 1800s. Technically, the whole thing has been an imperial exploit from the moment that a certain group of people showed up to steal land from other people and enslave other people.
right,
Secondly, I was mentioning this on your post on Venezuela.
mm.
There's a long-standing history of just piracy.
Oh yeah,
So, for example, the English who couldn't compete with the Spanish because the Spanish were stealing and enslaving and doing all the shit that they were doing to the indigenous. and forcing them to dig out their gold. And when the galleons were coming back through the Caribbean, the English, because they're all thieves, decided, hey, we're going to get these guys called privateers. And these privateers, led by people like Francis Drake, they're going to steal these, this gold from the Spanish, right? Because one thief serves another thief. And later, once they fill their bellies up with enough gold to fund their empire, then they turn around and say, yeah, you know what? We don't need those privateers anymore. Now those motherfuckers are called pirates. Exactly. And they went after them. And this is just the way that a lot of the sleazy way of operating has gone for centuries. So, and it's always about appearing like we're doing good. And I would say anyone who fought in Vietnam, my dad's from that era, tells me about the Cuban Missile Crisis and stuff, because he was actually at his radar screen when that happened, waiting to come. And I have family who also were Vietnam veterans. The Golden Triangle drug trade. We didn't go in Vietnam for some moral crusade against communism. We went in for resources because it's rich in gold, oil. We also went in there to reinforce the opium trade that's funded a lot of our rich families.
Yep, and they had cobalt and a bunch of other stuff there. That was resources there in Vietnam as well.
Yeah,
a lot of resources.
A lot of resources. So I think we're confronted as Americans in two ways, because some of us want to talk about superpower. It's a cute infantile word for empire. So either you're with the empire and you accept everything that it fucking does, or you're not with it.
Right.
But some of us try to play in the middle. Well, today I think that imperial thing was actually pretty good for us. And I'm guess this. No, there is no in between in that shit. I think too many of us get confused and wrapped up in it. And that's up to each American to decide where you fall in it. But there's an aftertaste, a bitterness that comes afterwards when an empire falls.
Right.
So anyway, that's my rant.
Right. And I think, instead of going after Venezuela, why don't we cap down on these elite billionaires that are basically creating these militias all over the world and like causing havoc, disrupting other countries, like like you have Congo, you have Sudan, you have the diamond mines, it's like we're raping other people's lands and we're allowing other rich people. I mean, come on, let's face it. Kuwait was basically George Bush protecting his oil fields. We went to war to protect his oil fields.
Remember the babies and incubators crap?
Right, all that bullshit. And it's just like, and that was like she was an elitist. The girl that testified was like an elite. It was like she was like a rich girl, like a princess or something, It's like it was all lies, My dad got cancer from going over there. He was over there for 2 years. It's just like,
it's not, none of it's worth it. It's in the end, we're being agents of the empire. We're being stormtroopers for them. They want it, let them go.
The United States Army are paid mercenaries, and we already knew that in the first term when Trump was talking about loaning our militaries to Saudi Arabia to fight their battles.
And actually, as a matter of fact, who keeps Saudi Arabia stable for a long time has been the United States.
Right.
Because if we were to pull out, they would most likely have a rebellion.
Right. And they do like public beheadings on television and all that shit there, and
hey man,
oppressing,
but Russia.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And Charlie Kirk even talked about doing public beheadings. So they're all for that, these so-called Christians,
Oh yeah. And it comes down to, why is it that we, the common people, accept such contradictory ideas?
Right.
It's not to say that Russia, China, or anybody's good. No, I'm not saying that. But it comes down to, if we think we're good, then let's try to fight to live up to it.
Right.
Right? And your question on the billionaires, it's very simple. It's because it's our billionaires. We could do whatever we want to. We're the exception.
Right. I mean, you're lucky I'm not in politics. I would seize all their assets.
And you'd have to have a
Balance.
lot of bodyguards
Right.
behind you.
Right. And you have to balance, you'd balance the world debt in less than a year. Just tax them at 90% where they used to get taxed at. And guess what? There's no more debt. The
Well,
government is debt free,
a lot of it, a lot of the debt is actually mostly interest.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
a lot of that stuff's already been paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had debt forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
you'd wipe out a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like during our housing crisis, what we should have had was debt forgiveness for people,
Mm-hmm.
or a certain amount of money given to regular people who could say basically, okay, you're going to get this much money. This much first will go to all of your debts.
Right.
Whatever's left over, you can spend. If there's
Mm-hmm.
no left over, oh well, at least your debts are paid off.
Right.
One, the banks would have still gotten the money.
Right.
And two, we would all be in a much better position. But those debts are owed to the very people that we want to tax.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
and we basically are laundering money by sending money to other countries, but instead of giving them money, we're giving them weapons or what
we
have
call
you.
it aid, man.
Yeah, aid.
It's aid.
It's money laundering, and then it goes back into the pockets of those who funded them, right? So our tax dollars are basically being legally laundered. They learn.
Yeah, and then they turn around and say,
Cartels, basically, or it's just like
they'll say,
they've
oh,
seen the money, then it goes into their campaigns for re-election,
and then they'll say, oh, X country who has no manufacturing is having a war.
Right.
Well, who the hell is giving them the weapons?
Right. It's coming
If
from
they're not manufacturing weapons,
right.
who the hell is giving them the weapons?
Right. Yeah.
So, it's wild to me.
It's a
But
total.
we got to definitely be, as a people, even if we don't get along on certain or agree on certain things, there's just certain things that we have to agree on. As George Carlin said, it's a big club and we ain't in it.
Right. Exactly.
Once you accept that, it's like, yeah, I might not agree with you on, I don't know, gay marriage or whatever it might be.
Right.
But the bigger issues is that we're all getting screwed.
Oh yeah, for real. I mean, if I was to run for a political position, my first thing would be end homelessness. Like no one should be homeless. No one should be on the street.
I agree.
End drug addiction. Mandatory clinics, rehab. Second, no more taxes. Overtaxing people on you buy an item and then you pay taxes on it. But then if you want to resell it, you're taxed again. It's like or it's like you buy a house, you have more interest on the house. Why is it a 30-year mortgage? People used to be able to pay off their house in 10, 15 years.
Or even if you own the house,
right. And
still paying taxes.
Right. Still paying taxes. And that shouldn't be, because it's like, and then if you have any damage to your house, like I own this house here, and it's like, well, it's I used to own it. Now the bank owns it because I took out a mortgage because I wanted my mom to have some money for her. She never had a retirement. So I put myself in a pickle to satisfy my mother, but she brought me here. So it's
You're a good son.
I'm a good son.
You're a good son.
I'm a schmuck. But yeah, I mean, like literally, like it was about 90% goes to the interest and very little goes to the actual, the actual amount due, right? Doesn't make any sense. I'm like, wow, that's like nuts. It's like nobody. And now Trump is talking about 50-year mortgages. People are already in 30-year mortgages. It's like,
did you know
yeah,
that China has 90% home ownership,
mm-hmm.
and they pay no property taxes
Mm-hmm.
on their first home?
Mm-hmm.
You pay property taxes on your second home.
Right. In the Arab nations, there's no taxes as far as like,
Yeah,
and no
because that's
interest.
considered
No
usury.
interest. Yeah.
In Islam, that's usury.
Mhm.
Catholicism used to have no usury either,
Mhm.
and then they got creative. Then they got creative. They're like, I don't know, these schmucks,
Right.
you know. And technically, income tax used to be for the rich,
Right.
right? To be on the rich
Right.
and the weasels that they are, because they're always weasels,
Then they
you know.
moved it over to us.
Yeah, schmucks, you know.
Yeah, I think it's total crazy. Like, like they used to pay a lot more tax. I pay more tax than freaking Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. It's what the hell is that about? It's like,
And the thing is we're not producing more.
mhm.
So we're a nation, we're nations of services, right? And we're not upkeeping either.
No.
Uh, and for all the what it appears to be wonderful technological advancements.
Right, right.
I know
Exactly.
you're a big fan of AI and stuff, but and I know I kind of hammer that a lot, but um, can we really say that the jumps, thanks to AI, are similar to the jumps we had from having no smartphone to a smartphone?
Right.
It's just an entirely different thing. And then all of our infrastructure is based on technology that is old. I mean,
Yes.
most of the financial sector is COBOL,
Mm-hmm.
Fortran, Social Security still runs on COBOL.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, they've tried to bring AI to try to like transfer the data over. Not going to happen.
Right.
Unfortunately, they don't teach these programs anymore, even though the basic uh, structure of our society relies on this. So to me, a lot of people are looking at AI as, oh, this is a danger. Yes, it is for copyright, which I know Disney just, you know, pissed on its properties with OpenAI, but
Right.
resources. But here's the other thing, because we don't have the programmers or enough programmers to upkeep the shit,
Yes.
COBOL and everything. We're losing the people that are actually able to do it are like my dad's age. He's 85,
Right.
or he's going to be 85 next year.
Mm-hmm.
Once we lose that knowledge base, we're fucked. So, for example, I'll give you an example of how I think it should be tackled. When Notre Dame went up in flames here a few
Right.
years ago, there are guilds. So there are academics, these small little guilds that studied how the architecture was made at one point. They were put like boom into active duty, and they start to train others to help rebuild that. The town that I live got the cathedral here got completely decimated, and they recreated it. So we need something similar for technology. If we're relying on this old technology, we need to have like these little tiny niches of people who know their shit. It gets passed down. So if it all goes kapooey, they go, okay, don't worry. We'll train some other people and we'll get the shit back up and running. But
Exactly.
we're not. We're building new shit that works worse than the old shit because you
Right.
got old AI that's defeating new AI,
Right.
right? And there's this delusion of like, oh, my AI is going to become Optimus Prime. No, it'll smooth things out quickly, but a lot of the things that you see done, we were able to do it. It just took longer,
Right. They
you
were
know.
talking about building a city the size of Manhattan that will just be all servers so that it can maintain the infrastructure with the expansion of the AI and all this stuff. And that's
With what
imagine
grid?
yeah, exactly. It's
I
like
mean, our
that's
interstate was finished in the 1990s.
right,
It was started in the 50s. A
right,
lot of these people, like Peter Thiel, Karp, went to school for philosophy and law.
right,
These people are not carpenters, engineers, and people
right.
who know how to really build shit and go, oh,
Not at
fuck,
all.
that'll take a while.
Right.
You know,
They're
so they drop
unrealistic.
shit to get money,
Right.
you know.
There's an example in the Bronx. They've been talking about they're constantly throwing money at the Bronx, the Kingsbridge Armory. Now, when I first started Bronx Heroes, I wanted to use that space for the Comic-Con. I was like, oh,
That
this
would have
is
been cool.
perfect. And they were like, oh no, it's under construction now. We got a contract. They're going to turn it into an ice skating rink. I was like, wasn't it already like a club? And I heard that they were going to turn it into a shopping mall. Oh, yeah. But then those guys dropped out. So now they're saying they're going to build something else. So they threw more millions of dollars at the Bronx too. So we're talking about, my show started, 15 years ago? Nothing ever happened with it. And before that, when they were talking about the shopping mall, that was maybe like 10 years before. So they went from shopping mall, well, from nightclub to shopping mall to ice skating rink, and now they're talking about building something else, like like I don't know if it was housing or something, I forget. But it's like they keep saying that they're going to use this space. It's basically a money laundering spot. They get all this
Yeah.
money from the government, supposedly for these projects. They get these investors in there,
hmm
and they don't build shit. They literally put a
Yeah.
fence around it. And then where's the money going?
Yeah.
It's going into the local politicians' pockets. Obviously, it's not going into the neighborhood. These are all the people's tax money, and that's just like we were talking about roads being destroyed and ripped apart and rebuilt again over and over again.
Yep.
Just to recycle the money, just to reallocate a budget, because so that the money doesn't go elsewhere where it's actually needed.
Yep. Well, it's just like the stupid robo taxis Elon Musk was talking about.
Right,
Remember that? No, the tunnel. It was
right,
supposed to be that. Basically, it was like the old mnemonic tubes but it
right,
was like a vehicle in
right,
Vegas. All he built was a tunnel where you get a cab that takes
right,
you through it.
right.
It's like, really? So he took all this money to screw over Vegas.
Right,
And we got to start understanding these people are more P.T. Barnum
right. The con
than,
artists, the grifters.
oh, we're going to have Terminator 2 with what fucking energy?
With energy, human energy.
With what energy? I love writing shit. Like, I love science fiction, but there's the other side where I'm like, all right, well, that's not going to happen. It's more allegory than anything else. And let's just run from that.
I mean, if they were really smart, I mean, I don't know. Did you see that patent that I sent you about the human from the 1800s, about the saying that the body was a human battery, and they had this device that they created?
No.
It was like 1896, and then 1906. There was this guy, I forget his name. He came up with this bracelet that basically channeled the electricity in our bodies to power other things. Now,
Yeah, but see, you said if they were really smart. It's a conditional.
yeah.
That's
Well,
a big conditional.
that exists. The science does exist, but if they were smart and not relying on oil, you could design a car that when we step into it, our own biological field could run that car.
The motion. As soon as you start moving it, as soon as it starts moving, and they were actually working on this. This is why I think that, like, I'm very pro technology. I know I probably come off as very anti-technology, but I'm not. Early 2000s, they were talking about batteries that could be charged from the motion of the wheel moving forward.
Yeah.
Very simple principle. All you have to do is make sure you start the thing and away you go.
Right.
We had other technologies that were talking about nanotechnology, where you build things from the atomic structure up, which were really cool. I still think that one of the most disruptive technologies that hasn't been put into full motion is 3D printing.
Right.
Instead of like buying all this shit that's just already prefabricated, you
Right.
go and you have it made, custom made to how you want it. You don't have to worry about it, right?
Right. Exactly.
But here's why they don't want to get off of oil.
Right.
And it's a word that we were using when we were talking before the show started. And that's dominance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if all of a sudden everyone can have it, how's the West going to dominate people?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
So I'm with you. It sounds great. And I remember asking my dad, because my dad being an engineer, I said, so back in the 70s, what happened? And he was like, yeah, well, there's a big oil crisis, son.
yeah.
And when the big oil crisis happened, a lot of us engineers were saying, We don't need oil.
Right. We don't.
We don't need it. We can move to something else. It's feasible, it's possible. And they were told, no, if we move away from oil, the West loses its dominance over the world, and we can't afford that. This isn't about possibility of being able to do it or not doing it.
Mhm.
It's about basically wanting to shove our foot down everyone's face and mouth,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And in a world where we have nuclear weapons, because I know a lot of people like to say, "Oh, well, all empires do this." Not all empires had nukes.
Right. That's a
We're at
big
the stage in humanity that bullshit from the past doesn't fly anymore. We got to grow up.
we have to move past it, but people are stuck,
Well, it's because we've been given the options that we only have one, that we've always operated this way.
Right.
We humans are actually pretty flexible, and I think that's why the predator class, as I like to call them, because they are a predator class. They prey on us, right? I think that's why they know we're very flexible and very malleable. And
Right.
they use us very flexibly and very malleable all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and yeah, and they're afraid that should we get a different setting that doesn't benefit them, they're screwed.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
So, then they have us going out with signs that say race mixing is communism.
Which is this insanity. The entire human society, our entire existence has been based on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. But it's funny because in the 1960s, I had posted on my Facebook. I don't think you saw it. And I posted, the post was something to the effect of, I wrote, the stupid didn't start with MAGA. And it was a picture of the anti-civil rights crew. And they had a sign saying race mixing is communism. And I'm like, I don't think Marx intended it to be that way, but okay, whatever.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, people are just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, the majority of the planet is mixed. No one is pure anything. Everyone,
If
mhm.
if we were pure anything, as these idiots think, we wouldn't be able to have children together.
Right,
This is just biology 101.
right, and we
I can't
wouldn't
get a
survive. We wouldn't
house
live as
cat.
long as we do.
Right, you can't get a house cat to have kids with a tiger. Or a gorilla with a spider monkey,
Right,
right?
right.
It just shows a lack of, I don't know, they skipped that on biology 101.
Right. Have you seen those rabbits mixed with cats? They call them cabbits.
Oh, damn. But I'm sure those were done in a lab. They were probably spliced in the lab.
Yeah.
The saddest part about a lot of that, and we probably don't get to see as many of the crazy shit they have, but it's the animals that glow in the dark.
Mm.
To me, that's just cruel. Like, why?
Right.
Why do that to the poor things?
Yeah, they genetically changed that so they're iridescent or something, right?
Yeah, like why? Like, I get it. You're trying to figure out your genetics and all this other stuff, and you're tinkering with stuff. But
what would be interesting would be to come up with like a candy for kids that has a similar property, and then when they fart, you can see what color it is.
that sounds very Willy Wonka.
Right, like rainbow farts. That's
rainbow farts.
What did you eat? Oh, he's a little green. He's got a green fog. There's a brown fog. It's like a yellow, misty fog there. It's like
some kids look like those old cars with the black exhaust. Yeah, you want to stay away from him. He's really stinky.
He's the dirty diesel.
He's the dirty diesel. Oh yeah, the Thomas the Train.
Talk about classism, right? Classism and racism, even in children.
I think it was the first season you were talking about that. How you're saying, and it's true, like the usefulness.
Yes.
How they teach us as kids, he's a useful engine.
Right, he's useful.
Yeah, you got a point.
Right.
My son
he's a dirty diesel. It's like, what the fuck am I having my kid? And you know, it's funny. That stuff sticks in their head. My son was a big Thomas guy.
Mine too.
And now he's like very Republican. Like, what the I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, wow.
It's just like these things that they put in cartoons and there. I give him space because you know, when I would stop being a Jehovah's Witness, I got indoctrinated by the Republican Party as well because my father was in the military. He was a liberal that turned Republican during the war, you know, because, you know, they kind of indoctrinate you and then you're indoctrinated. So I was already indoctrinated into one thing that was non-voting. They didn't vote Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not political.
Mhm.
And then you get introduced to politics and then you're indoctrinated by this other Christian facet, which is republicanism.
Mhm.
But I think that changed once I started working in prison and saw the conditions and I saw all everything was demystified. I mean, when you work in a jail, you just see all the bullshit that people talk about, what a criminal
Yeah.
looks like, what crime is, how our judicial system works, how it just doesn't work. It's dysfunctional, how it locks up innocent people, and they
Mhm.
don't care whether you committed the crime or not. If you don't have the money, you cannot leave jail. So I mean, like they'll like, oh, $50,000 bond. Okay, so that means I need what $5,000 to get out to await my trial, and you don't have $5,000, so you're sitting in prison for like up to like a year, and
And you
sometimes
could be
longer.
totally innocent. It could be just a stupid
Yeah,
charge you're getting too, right?
right. I mean, when I was working in Rikers, apparently there was this case of this guy that was innocent. He was there for 4 years. Now the policy on Rikers Island is that you cannot stay in that building more than 52 days. So what do? They move you around and they restart the clock every time they shift you.
Yeah.
You know, they move you from location to location and restart the clock. The reality is the majority of people that are sitting in Rikers Island shouldn't be in Rikers Island. They should be sitting at home awaiting their trial,
Mhm.
you know.
And how many of them were like stupid drug charges, you think?
Well, a lot of them, you know, I worked in the school area and I dealt with a lot of these guys. They always said, don't ask what their case is. I always ask. I need to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, you got a
Most
lot of
of
time.
them were, and I say this without exaggeration, the majority of the students that I had, so I was there from 2000 to 2002, most of them were charges of we're looking for a black guy. Most of them.
The usual suspect.
The usual suspect. And randomly just grabbing a dude that's sleeping on the train. I remember this one guy told me he was sleeping on the subway, just came out of work, literally passed out, and these cops assaulted him and dragged him off the train because he fit a profile.
Mhm.
Now, he already had an alibi. He already had people tell the police that he was at work. He didn't have the money for bail, to post bail, so he just had to sit in prison until that case came up. Didn't matter. There was another
Yeah.
case where a guy was a victim in Central Park. He was half black, half Japanese,
Mhm.
and he had an Asian girlfriend. And they were robbed in the park. And then they threw a brick at his head and they raped his girlfriend. He was sitting in prison and his girlfriend. They were both in jail because while they were raping them, they didn't know this guy was a black belt. So when he came to, he witnessed his girlfriend being raped. And
So he went to town on him?
he went to town on them. He assaulted the guy. The guy was on top of his girlfriend. He broke his neck. And then he beat up the other guys. The criminals were pressing charges against him. So him and his girlfriend were sitting in prison.
And the criminals didn't go to jail for rape.
No. So it's like another one was Central Park again. Hispanic, light-skinned guy. Asked his friends to hang out to the park. They had no idea that, you know, they knew that he broke up with his girlfriend, but they had no idea that he was going to go check out his girlfriend. He found out his girlfriend was with this new guy. starts an argument in the company of his black friends, pulls out a gun and kills the guy. They all run. Now, everyone ran. The black guys are like, I'm out. They ran. Everyone ran. Nobody said shit, right?
Mhm.
There was a dead guy in Central Park. The shooter himself confesses to the murder to a guidance counselor, but fingers all the guys that he dragged with him that had nothing to do with it.
Oh, shit.
They all go to jail as co-conspirators. And then he's afraid for his life from these guys for retaliation. So the ultimate coward joins the Bloods, this Hispanic guy. Oh, no, it wasn't the Bloods. Sorry. It was the Latin Kings. He joins the Latin Kings and tells them that all those guys snitched on him. The guy who snitched on himself. And then he tries to have his so-called friends killed in prison.
What an asshole.
What an asshole.
What
So
an
not only did he
asshole.
murder the girlfriend's boyfriend, but his buddies that had his back, through thick and thin. They knew each other since elementary school.
I mean, if you're going to rat
Tries
out,
to have him killed because he didn't want the word to get out that he snitched on them.
right? If he would just ratted himself out, whatever.
Right. That's it. You
but it's
confess.
fine.
That's it. Yeah, you rat out it's like,
nobody likes a rat. Snitches
Right.
get stitches.
right. And it's just like, and I remember one guy, I forgot his name, but he was a big fat kid. He was one of the guys, lived with his grandmother. He was, I would say, 300 pounds easily, tall.
Whoa.
Right? He ain't fucking fighting anybody, right? It's like,
Yeah,
So-
he's too big.
But he went and he was so scared for his life that he was begging to go into the box. Now the box is isolation. They wouldn't give him the box, so he had to fight somebody to get into the box. But he was scared for his life. So he was in the box for about 6 months. Guy came out 90 pounds.
Wow.
Totally.
And probably like brain dead.
Oh my God. That treatment of being isolated is not healthy. I mean,
No, it's
you
not.
could see his face changed. Like,
Yeah.
even though he was in jail with the general population, you still have some hope and life.
Well,
Yeah.
because you're still interacting with human beings, right? Well,
Right. And when he isolated himself, which he preferred, but you could see there was a little like vacancy there. So
you remember Jose Padilla?
that name sounds very familiar.
He was a young guy that I think he was in Chicago, had converted to Islam. They basically said that he was a terrorist,
Oh, yes.
and they threw him into solitary confinement for years.
Mhm.
And the doctors, not just the doctors, but the lawyers who would visit him, said that he's basically a walking vegetable.
Yeah.
We humans are intended to interact. We're social animals.
Right. We have to exchange energy,
Yeah, there are times when I lived in Brooklyn, because I work from home. So if I was at home, my wife was gone, and you're alone for like 6 or 7 hours, no one around you. And I don't know if you've ever got this feeling when you go out and you actually start to interact with people.
Right.
You get this weird, like, who the hell are you? Like, it
Right.
really plays with your mind.
Yeah.
Thankfully, at least in my case, I didn't have to do it for like days and weeks. But then I used to think, holy shit, could you imagine doing that for like days and weeks? Of course, you're going to be like
Yeah. Off.
paranoid and a weirdo,
Yes.
because you're just not used to interaction.
Right.
So I think that's a form of torture to do that to anybody.
Right. To isolate. Yeah.
That's horrible. Which brings me to a lot of the stuff to do with ICE.
Oh yeah.
How's that going over there?
It's nuts. In Spring Valley, I know there was a sweep there early on after Trump was elected. I heard that area was always teeming. The street was always busy. Now you see it's pretty vacant, pretty empty.
Wow.
Yesterday there was a demonstration in is it Nanuet, New York? I was driving through there, and there was a guy dressed up as Batman. I thought that was pretty funny. did. And it was against the ice raids as well, ice demonstration. So I thought that was
Wow.
cool. So I was like, that's what we need. We need more demonstrators that'll dress up as cosplayers, like superheroes, and just demonstrate. I think that's a superhero like cosplay demonstration where everyone's dressed up as superheroes fighting against.
I think everyone should just dress up as ice.
You're right. Or just as
So they're like, who the fuck is who? I don't know. What
I don't
department
know.
are you with? Can't tell you, dude.
There's a lot of AI videos of people fighting ice too, like showing resistance, but then you see it says lice on their costume, or like the words are distorted on their.
The only ones who've done it are the Haitians.
Right.
The Haitians beat their asses like it was
Right.
1804.
Right, exactly. Yes. And then they went back to that Haitian neighborhood to grab people. So they returned, with a greater force instead of grabbing people. I mean, this is no different than the slave, those guys that were grabbing people and
The slave catchers. Yeah.
slave catchers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and then we're putting them in foreign countries. We're not even deporting them back to their own country, which doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah. It's weird.
And then we're giving asylum to drug cartel families, like El Chapo's son and his family. You had that Honduran president; they released him, and Trump is
Hey,
saying,
man.
"Re-elect him." It's like, what? You got to re-elect this guy who's, it's
I personally think that the whole war on drugs really is just to cap the competitors
oh yeah,
who aren't part of
Right.
our predator classes cronies.
Yeah. I mean, you think about Miami was built on drugs, and then they went after all those Colombian drug lords. And
Yeah.
who took over? The banks, the CEOs.
Oh, do you know the bank HSBC?
Uh-huh.
It was literally funded by drug money.
There you go.
That's how it started. It started because of opium money.
Yeah.
They even tell you in their actual like little thing. Yeah, that's the history of HSBC. We
Right.
started out with drug dealing.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and plus I think it was Chase or it was Citibank. Citibank got nailed for money laundering years ago, and they had to pay like something to the tune of a couple billion, which I'm laughing. I'm like, couple billion? They're probably like trillions of dollars are going through
Right.
that they're money laundering.
Right.
On a salacious side, because we got to get the salacious side. We got to talk about Captain Kirk.
Oh, yes.
Charlie Kirk, Captain Kirk, Erica.
And we're in hour
serious
2.
side.
Yes.
The tears.
First, let's
Oh, he's dead. Excuse me. That one tear. Oh.
Right. Oh, he's gone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's some craziness. I think it's totally hilarious, but let's take a
You gotta
quick
play the video, man.
Yes.
You got to play that video.
I got a video here somewhere. Let me see where we can. Let's find out where we can get that teary video.
And the story is, I could be wrong, that she's been pregnant
Oh yeah, that's
8
another one.
weeks,
Yeah,
but he died 9 weeks ago.
right. It's like, it's like with the. Doesn't
Hey,
make
that's
sense.
us.
That's us. Hey, art imitates life.
I know. It's kind of like what's it? Spaceballs.
It's just-
Who's that? That's us. When? In the future.
in the future, we're about to do this. It's funny, the Matrix kind of did that too,
Yeah, but I like Spaceballs when it did it better.
Yeah.
Spaceballs is. I love Mel Brooks.
Oh, he's a fucking genius.
I think reality is written by him.
Yeah. I mean, let me
I think
see.
we're way more serious.
I sent you so many videos. It's so hard to find out. Where is it? Lord of mercy. There's so many.
So how
Sorry,
did she
I
get pregnant if he
apologize.
died 9 weeks ago?
Right. It's just like, how is that? That doesn't make.
I could be really gross and say she was a little kind of huggy of the corpse.
Oh,
Got a little icy, but I'm gonna leave it there.
yeah.
If you know the myth of ISIS,
It
right?
took me a second to get that into my head. Let me see if this is the
That
video.
whole myth is like, what? And then she did what with it? What?
Is that a TikTok? Is that a TikTok video? Is that a TikTok video I sent you, or is that an Instagram video? I'm just,
I don't remember. You sent me a bunch of videos, man.
oh my god, I'm ridiculous. Sometimes I get into the fury. I'm just like,
I know. I hear your pain. For weeks now I've been pretty good. And then the stupidity with Europe started working up, and I'm like, then I got worked up. I don't like getting worked up.
yeah,
Just like really, like, what are Europeans thinking?
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Because there were two junctures where Germany could have told us to go fuck ourselves. When the Berlin Wall fell, they could have said, "Okay, we don't need you. You can take your bases and fuck off now."
Right.
Right? And the collapse of the Soviet Union. Again, you can take your bases and you can go home now. And they
Right.
didn't do it in either one. And now, forget it. And I don't think Trump is going to take all that sitting down that Pax Americana's done,
No.
because he's vindictive as all hell. And
Yeah.
well, whatever. What can you do?
I did have this one. Hold on.
I think it was one of the last videos you sent me on. It wasn't through Instagram. It was through Facebook.
Oh, through Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, it was through Facebook.
I know I sent a bunch of them on Israel and stuff. And yeah, the tier. You know, it is when I'm on Instagram on my computer, it won't let me log into my other account. It goes straight to the Zorro account.
Right.
For peace. And then when I sign into Bronx Heroes, it logs in, but then I'm still in. It's almost like it blocks me.
Yeah, you can't share Facebook links through Instagram. I tried. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Really weird, even though it's the same company. Oh, and then there was the issue with Trump and his World Peace Prize from
yes,
favorite organizations, FIFA.
Maybe this is the one. Let me see if I find this. No, this is not it. That's about Charlie Kirk, but that's about the wife. Let's see.
Captain Kirk. Annoying orange with a body.
Yeah, the hands, that creepy metal.
I just don't get. In the first episode, I do remember us talking about Charlie Kirk, and I do remember talking about how I don't know why white America can't understand one thing:
right?
that if you say shit in America, you can get shot.
Right.
That's just,
if you live in the hood, then that's
it. And if you're gonna say shit, you're gonna get shot. You say it because you're like, well, I'm gonna get shot for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, right?
Right.
If you get shots, as you're getting shots, I told you.
Right. It's just like, yeah, you can say anything you want in this country, but shit's gonna happen. People are gonna.
It's like the Ice-T album, freedom of speech, but watch what you say.
Right.
Do you remember it had the guns? Right.
Yeah, and then he got banned for the Cop Killer song back in the day.
Oh man, great song. He got real shit because you remember the LA riots?
Yes.
And all hell broke loose. Well, he was out on TV saying, "Don't burn down your neighborhood. Let's go over to the rich areas and start burning shit down over there." Fast forward, now he's in the propaganda.
It's totally like, what the fuck?
Love Ice-T though. I have to say, if you ever see him on X, he's a mouth, man. Oh man. Some people come at him with some shit, and yeah, there's certain people you just leave alone. You don't mess with. You don't try to exchange words with. You're like, whatever, I'm not gonna win. He's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got shit for that. I can understand. So
I think maybe we should start with a little irony in our second hour. I'm gonna go backwards from last to first. I don't know.
Sure. Let's do it. I love irony.
Yeah, I have a little irony. We'll start with a little irony.
Little irony.
A little irony. Let's see. We'll do
get your vitamin iron.
Let's see what he says. What's he talking about? This guy.
BB. Because the real thing that has to happen here
is the innocent. What terrorists do is target the innocent deliberately. And therefore, my definition of terrorism is the systematic and deliberate attack, the murder, maiming, and menacing of innocents, civilians, for political goals. You can tell a lot about terrorists, but what happens when they come to power? Those who fight for freedom and come to power do not impose terrorism. Those who do, who fight in terroristic means, end up as being masters of terrorist states. What terrorists do is target the innocent deliberately. Therefore, my definition of terrorism is the systematic.
Ray, because the terrorists, they come together and they do shit that I do. Do shit or shit, and that's okay as long as I do it. You don't do it.
That's all I gotta
Maybe
say to
Netanyahu,
that.
baby.
You know, and then I sent you that one, that's for sure. And then
did you ever see? There's this hilarious picture of Netanyahu at the UN. He's holding up a picture of a bomb.
Right.
But the bomb is like one of those Looney Tune bombs.
Right. It looks like yes, I've seen that. It looks like a cartoon.
like
what the fuck?
Like fucking really?
Yeah.
What are
we? Like, Coyote.
Is it made by Acme?
Right. And he was like, in 2 weeks, they will have their bombs ready. It's like who gave him this prop? He's like Batman with like running from the nuns and the ducks.
Oh man.
Adam West running. I was like,
BB.
So I thought that would be like, you know, that's old footage, right? But yeah. I thought it would be, you know, kind of like, hey, you know, and then compare it to what we have here, like, which is to the videotape.
Officials forcibly entered a United Police accompanied by municipal officials forcibly entered a United Nations compound used by UNRWA in East Jerusalem. Police motorcycles as well as trucks and forklifts were brought in, and all communication were cut. Furniture, IT equipment, and other property was seized, and the UN flag was pulled down and replaced by the Israeli flag. The Secretary General strongly condemns the unauthorized entry into the United Nations Sheikh Jarrah compound held by UNRWA, located in occupied East Jerusalem by Israeli authorities. This compound remains United Nations premises and is inviolable and immune from any other form of interference. The police, accompanied by municipal officials.
Like, okay. It's like,
hey, Ray, when we do it, we can fucking do it.
We can do it.
Complain.
So, I mean, isn't that the definition that he gave about a terrorist state?
Come on.
You know?
Come on, man. Ray.
See, I don't like to say or like say that people said certain things.
Yeah, no.
It's best to use their own words.
Yeah.
To, you know.
I totally agree. The thing is that he gets
a pass, right?
The hypocrisy of power is that one of the main tenets of power is I get to do whatever the fuck I want to, and you do whatever I tell you to do.
Right.
And he's an act. He has power. I mean, that's how it goes. And you know, I wouldn't wish it was that way, but he does.
Right.
And you know, and you're totally right. It's completely fucking hypocritical.
Completely. Absolutely.
For the past 5 centuries, I would have to say past 20 centuries, Europe has worked on a hypocritical basis. We've got this religion, man, Ray. This religion gonna like. It's about a guy, really nice guy, could cure the poor, cure the blind, heal the sick, do all this shit, and he tells you not to fight. By the way, if you don't accept it, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm gonna kill you, right? He's peaceful, he loves you, but he's jealous, and yeah, it's like,
dude, I might want your kid to. You gotta give up your kid to me, man.
Yeah,
you know,
you might want to have your.
Want your firstborn.
We want your firstborn child. Oh my God, some of the story.
I mean, there's so many contradictions, but the contradictions are there because it's a swindle. We get swindled by power. We get
Yeah,
swindled by it to believe in their rules.
right,
We're told we're being the Avengers. We're
right,
being X-Men.
right,
And we're not even Hydra. We're fucking Tony Soprano.
right.
I think I'll just steal this shit. Why? I don't give a fuck.
It's complete Tony Soprano.
Yeah, we're Tony Soprano.
And then we have this thing here about apparently, which I wasn't aware of, you could translate. There was a translation tool on. I know Facebook has it.
Yeah, you
I
sent
didn't
me
know
this.
X had a translation tool.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
disabled the translation tool.
Mhm.
We could just cue it up here.
Fucking weasel, Elon.
All right, I was like, let me make it big so people can read it. Not that they care, but
Well, Google doesn't care for Elon.
right. There we go. He says, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it's a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald Trump, President of the United States, right? One symbolic bomb in Washington will remind Trump that he is not omnipotent and will restore a national honor. Trump will receive divine assistance if he knows his place and helps Israel. If he speaks to the people of Israel and commands like this, progressive predecessors, he will lose his historical role. It's like, we did it on some Tuesday in September, didn't we? That's what they say. Basically admitting to 9/11. These are all on his page, right? Just all the terrorist cells created in the U.S. will surely soon begin to awaken, especially if this whole day isn't one big troll. Citizens. One Iranian bomb in Washington in an open area. Mackay, you should have written that it's time to activate the pager that Bibi gave Trump.
Which, by the way, that was facilitated
By the way, what?
That pager tech was facilitated by Palantir.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think a lot of this is very unwise because even though you can't translate it directly on X or Twitter, I'm going to call it Twitter because I know it annoys a certain South African, Crocodile Dundee from South Africa.
Right.
Or Howdy Doody or whatever you want to call him.
And it gets darker. I mean, this is like pretty dark stuff. I mean, look at this one. This lady is saying, Leanne Mira, if Israel theoretically decides to attack America, what should be the opening? The White House, Silicon Valley, interesting bases.
This is not smart.
I mean, you have assholes out there. In America.
But this is not smart from their perspective.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why.
Yeah.
Even Roseanne Barr is playing into Jewish people run the world and everything else. This is very dangerous for them.
Dangerous stuff.
This is not smart.
Right.
This is being high on your supply.
Right.
Kind of dumb.
Have you ever watched Al Jazeera Live? The comment section is more interesting than the news. The way people are just trolling each other. Now, these are just trolls, but it just shows you. And then we have a lot of American trolls, too. Yeah. This is not coming from the government. These are citizens. But
and the thing, you can't translate it on Twitter, but you can take that, copy the text, put it into a translator. You're going to find out.
Oh, yeah. Well, apparently Twitter had a translator, and they just got rid of it.
It still does.
Yeah.
For
They
other
just,
languages, it
well, it
does
does, but they blocked it for Hebrew.
for Hebrew. But then you can copy it and paste it and go,
Right.
oh, that's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like, but we're dealing
Just
with a
because the
guy.
humans are just shitty.
Well, we're dealing with Elon, who, and I think there's going to be case studies when people in the future talking about how we were sold this guy to be this incredible intellect. And
Right.
he's proving quite the opposite.
Right.
But you're dealing with a guy that just basically shat on his daughter, saying, I don't have a son anymore. I lost him to the woke virus. What the
Right.
fuck the woke virus is, for one. And two, then turns around and there's another video going around of him talking about the mRNA vaccine can turn you into a butterfly. And he's pro-transhumanist. So transgender bad, becoming a freaking cyborg and robot good.
Right.
Like,
right. And the thing is also, it's like, if you think about it, Trump received a lot of money from the guy who was actually behind, the billionaire who was actually funding a lot of those transition drugs and stuff. So
yeah,
it just shows you the guy has no moral character or compass. He pretty much will take money from anybody or anyone that's willing to pay him like a tithe. That's putting it nicely. Yeah.
it's been like that for every single one of these mofos.
Yeah, so he doesn't really have a real
Ideology. He's got the ideology of me first.
Right.
He's like Baron Harkonnen.
Right.
From Dune. If he could float around,
right.
he'd totally look like him. But no, he has no moral compass. But our country was founded, and as much as people love the Constitution, it is a document specifically for the ruling class.
Right.
Not for us. And there are no real, as many people talk about, there's all these safeguards and doing all this stuff. There's a gentleman by the name, I forget his full name, Taz, but he wrote a book called The History of U.S. Resistance. And he has a whole video going off as to anyone mythologizing into somehow this is a perfect document and everything else is smoking crack. It was just basically a gentleman's agreement that presidents wouldn't do certain shit, but nothing in it says that you can't take advantage of the office in the way Trump is doing.
Yes, exactly. I found it.
Oh, you found it?
I found the fake tears thing. So now we're going to shift gears from
the tears for fears.
Tears. Here we go. She's putting in eye drops in her fucking face. Yeah. I don't think the guy is dead, but if he is.
So no, at this time, there was no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot.
That was another shooting. Well, we're not going into that. There's another. Too much.
Our country.
There's another one of these fake tears.
All of our news are so fake.
I like the
so fake.
She's a bad actress.
She really is.
Erica
could have gotten some like jalapeno or something.
Right. Rub the jalapeno in her eye or mace her.
Like pouring like. So not only is she a bad actress, but it doesn't have anyone around her, to advise her on how to this is how you do it.
Right. Hail Satan.
Or is that Spider-Man?
That's dude, man, look at that. It's like so many videos of her just putting eye drops in her eyes, It's shame. It's shameful.
What's sad? What's sad to me about it is
she reminds me of Tammy Faye Baker. Do you remember her?
Oh man, yeah, of course
Oh, we gotta look that up. Tammy Faye Baker.
But she did the whole she was good. Well, she was good.
Yeah.
Like the makeup would just start to run down,
Yeah.
and she looked like, a melting Harlequin
Right.
doll. And you're like, she's really feeling that pain for those sinners,
Right. Right. Yeah. She had the
And in a
these
way,
are some of the haunting images where we had to grow up with.
and here's the thing: like Europeans, like on television here, you don't really have televangelists. It's not a
Right.
thing.
Really?
It's not. It's not. So when they see this shit, they think it's Hollywood made up. That they don't believe it's real.
Right. Right.
And you're like, no, this shit is real. And if you don't know about this shit, I don't know what you think who we are, but like you
Right.
guys are nuts, right? They used to think that the football players bullying the kids.
Right.
I remember having tons of conversations with Spanish friends of mine going, "Oh, that's Hollywood shit." I'm like, "No, that's real." They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, we would never allow a child to be bullied that way here. They get in deep shit. Like even if they were on the football team, or actually, they don't really have sports teams at schools.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
oh, Tammy. So what you're suggesting is that Erica needs to go to the Tammy Faye Baker School of Crying.
That's correct. At least she pulled it off, right? I mean, she was like the waterworks. She had the non-waterproof makeup,
You know what I loved about her?
But look, she's doing the same shit. The little tissue.
What I loved about her, I guess you could say her life curve, story curve, is at the very end, she came out, she was very honest.
Right.
And at the very end, she actually became an icon to, and very much beloved by the LGBTQ community, which is wild. Maybe I got it wrong, but from what I remember, that's how she went down. But yeah, she was just, and all those preachers were all like a bunch of like cheating dogs, man. All of them. Wasn't it her husband that got caught with the prostitute?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Well, she caught it. She got VD or whatever it was.
Oh, that's right. I think she got HIV or something.
Got something.
You know what? I have to say, looking back, at least Jimmy Swaggart and all these guys were getting caught with adults.
Right, exactly. They weren't little kids, fucking pedos. I don't know. There should just be a law across the board, like death to pedos. That's it. Like execution. That's it. Just like that sounds extreme. It sounds extreme,
But the worst part is that a lot of these people who end up becoming pedos or pedos, or I don't know if you ever watched the IT Crowd.
No.
Oh, you got to watch the IT Crowd. It's free on YouTube. Fucking funniest one of my favorite British shows. Someone was dating a guy by the name of Peter File.
Right.
And in English, instead of saying pedo, they say pedophile. So saying his name is Peter File.
Peter File.
Right. But to my point, sorry, I got deviated on a stupid joke. To my point, it was a lot of these people are abused. That's how they end up becoming pedophiles.
Right.
So these people who they damage their lives, they have a high chance of becoming this, which is really fucked up and tragic.
Right.
Because they can't have normal relations with other people. They just destroy their lives.
Right.
So, yes, I get it. That to all of them. But a lot of these people have been damaged. And how do you fix that is my next question. Other than just, offing them. You know, there's that side to me. Try to understand it. Not that I wouldn't want them around my kids if they were, natural, but also recognizing it's a cycle. Oh, speaking of crazy things, because we're just speaking briefly, Luigi Mangione or whatever his name is.
Yes.
He's they didn't read him his Miranda rights.
Right. Yeah, he's basically, I really think he's gonna walk,
I think so. I don't think he did that shit.
Right.
He's
No, there's no way for them to prove it. His mother, talking about Mangione, his mother was basically the one that saw him on television and turned him in, apparently, right? That was one of the stories that we got, one of the many stories that we got. Well, apparently her mother, who had passed away, his grandmother left him, I think it was over $15 million. It was like a major fortune. He was the sole inheritor. So not his father, not his mother, not any of his other relatives received this money. It was strictly him was the sole benefactor.
Wow. Yeah.
And she was pissed about it. So of course you would
that's so shitty.
You know, like sell out your own son to get the money, you know.
Inherent when people who are wealthy pass away, see, as much as we think that the wealthy are all together and inheritance, and when it comes to inheritance and wealthy people, is when their nastiest sides come out towards each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nasty. I don't think he did it, because you look at the timeline of when he arrived to the hostel and when the murder was committed, it was impossible for him to get up there to do it.
Right.
Plus, they were saying the guy was hanging out there for a long time to shoot this guy. There's really no motivation for him to want to off this guy anyway.
Right.
And he's just way too peppy looking. I mean, you look at him and you're like, really? You're trying to tell me this guy did it? You know, I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he's the Flash. He just dashed up halfway through Manhattan, got there, shot the guy, and then lost his Flash superpowers.
Right. And then the time and distance, even on an electric bike, it's which I don't know if it was an electric bike, but it's impossible. 6 miles.
Impossible.
6 miles. It's just like,
I think that guy pissed off some other powerful people, and they had him offed. And then they're like, oh, shit, it got caught on video. What do we do? I don't know, round somebody up, some schmuck. And the NYPD is, and you've already told us earlier how they just get the usual suspects.
right.
They're like, fuck, too much press. We got to stop this. Let's pick up some guy with some unibrow.
Right.
Throw him in jail.
I mean, how many guys have bushy brows? A lot. I don't.
There's so many cultures
eyebrows.
that have bushy brows.
Like snake eyes. They can't prosecute somebody with eyebrows. That's not going to work.
No.
It's just not. Anybody can, you know, look at
Have the
that.
Vulcan eyebrows.
Look at eyebrows. Look at that.
It was Mr. Spock. Are you sure he wasn't a Romulan?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the hoodies were totally different colors.
I know.
Sure
Even the
was.
body type.
The book bag was a different color. It was a white book bag versus a black book bag. How do you pull that off? Plus, and what's also funny is that I remember the police said they found the murder weapon in a book bag in Central Park, and now they changed the story saying that he had the weapon in his bag in Pennsylvania.
That's such bullshit. And you remember a lot of people were saying, oh, he couldn't have been professional because it was a very sloppy job.
Right.
I'm like, as though professionals can't be just slobs too? Like,
Right.
you know, they're perfect. You know, they're John Wick all the time. It's like,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Fuck this one, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I got another Erica Kirk video here. Let's go down the little rabbit hole of Erica. Let's see this.
Princess Peach.
Hold on a second. This is like her recent interview.
Oh, I love that look, man.
She looks fucking. She has like wolf eyes or something. I don't know what's going on. Where's my volume? I'm like typical.
Apparently, that took many takes.
Yeah.
So maybe she was just annoyed at having to take after take after take. Apparently,
right.
At least according to Madame Owens, who I'm not a fan of.
Oh, where's the video? I mean, what's the? Whoa. Where's this? Where's the volume? Oh, hold on a second. I gotta refresh this bitch. Sorry. Where's the volume?
Which bitch?
There you go.
Grateful at Fox to have her here to shine a light on healing as we all miss and mourn the loss of her beloved Charlie Kirk. Not all of her journey has been without, well, hate, conspiracies, and oddly, speculation about where her husband is buried.
I'm going to talk bad about
now for the first time. Erica, who's with me now, addresses all of it from the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American.
You got me.
Good to see you again today.
Right.
Talk to me about this part of the conspiracies that are
I
out
love
there,
her
this
fantasy
disturbing
island
part
outfit.
that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? One thing. But this is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that. But this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents.
His dead body.
One thing.
You know,
What are they taking from
it's on
you
a
right
world
now?
tour, isn't it?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah.
All right, whatever, lady.
He is building a wall,
Building-
and the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, episode,
Fast forward a little bit.
going,
Nehemiah.
Nehemiah.
my team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats.
Elon
You
can
guys
help her
remember when
with
they
that.
found
With Erica Kirk sharing her journey with
I'm sorry.
Elon can help her make sure the Talking Points memo has robots and AI.
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. I mean, this is the one where she was saying stop.
I was one of millions of people across the world that watched you get up on that stage and forgive the man who murdered your husband. And I think a lot of people looked at it and thought, this is incomprehensible. It's almost baffling. And I want you to speak to those who are unable to understand, really, that act of grace. How is it possible that you can forgive the person that murdered your husband?
Easy, he's not dead.
I'm not forgetting
Or she didn't give a fuck.
what he did.
Or she didn't care.
I'm not condoning what he did. What he did is sick and evil. So sick and evil.
She doesn't even look
What I
convinced.
am doing is releasing myself from the enemy's hands, where he could have a foothold in me,
Mm.
and he could be able to just, like I said earlier, you have a choice. Am I going to take that moment? And I will never say anything I don't mean. I really prayed on that moment. That was a game time decision. I'll never say what I don't mean. But am I going to take that moment to say, rally the troops, burn the city down, march in the streets? Or am I going to take that moment and unleash something like we talked about, even greater, more powerful, and say, it's a revival? And let that unleash and let the Lord use it in ways that no one else could have ever imagined.
If you were to meet the man
All right, too much. Too much. But then you get the error.
one
you
of the
got
things that
Candace
has
Owens.
happened over the 3 months since Charlie was murdered is that people have gone through the thousands, maybe tens of thousands of hours of words he produced. He said more than 30.
That's not the one I was looking for.
Oh, man.
Too much. I didn't
He's
realize
like-
how long that damn interview is. You know, but I think Candace Owens is interesting. Like, you know,
Come after me, call me names, I don't care.
like a soap opera.
Come after
what
me,
it's like?
call me names, I don't care.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Call me what you want,
Gaslight.
go down that rabbit hole, whatever.
Right.
But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, No.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus.
This
Yes,
is America.
I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put these people back in the box where they've been creeping from?
I don't care what box you're in. But just know that your words are very powerful and we are human. My team are not machines and they're not robots. They are human. We have more death threats on our team and our side than I have ever seen. I have kidnapping threats. I have, you name it, we have it. And my poor team is exhausted. And every time they bring this back up, what are we supposed to do? Relive that trauma all over again? They watched my husband get murdered. I have no idea how I would have reacted if I was there that day.
Didn't they say that she was there
Lord, that I did not have to see that.
I don't know.
The media said that she was there that day that
know.
he was killed in front of his child and wife. They were saying that for months, and now she's saying that she wasn't there.
I don't know, but this is America.
It's like
We
they
love
changed
spectacle.
the narrative.
It's the gladiator pit.
Right. It is.
Everything's for money.
This is why I don't watch American television.
You know, everything is like, oh, P. Diddy is got the baby oil and got the fucking shit going on over here.
They're gonna be over that too.
Oh, my daughter ended up watching the Netflix special, and I really never cared for P. Diddy at all. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
And she watched all of this, and she's telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, really, I really don't want to know.
This is just the insanity of humanity.
And
we're not taking a political issue with political position. I mean, at least.
Well, I think
I don't think we are. We're just kind of looking at the lunacy of it all. You know.
It's the system we live in. It feeds off negativity.
Mm-hmm.
We make money from negativity. When's the last time you saw a feel-good piece where everyone's going, fucking right, oh Smurfs, they're doing good for all of us. Yay, let's make a lot of money from it. No, everything is horrible, tragic, fear.
Right.
It's always from a very negative perspective.
Right.
Like, I mean, what she said is, I mean, there's part of me that goes, okay, yeah, I'm sure she's getting a lot of death threats, which is really stupid and horrible.
Right.
There's
It's
another
horrible.
part of me, she's making money off of her dead husband.
She's on tour herself, though, right now.
Yeah, she's on tour herself.
Right.
There's a word that they like to use here when something's a mess. It's c'est un bordel. It's a brothel.
I like that.
It is. It's like a cluster F.
What is the clusterfuck?
You know, if she's being genuine, yeah, she's right. But unfortunately, she's not the only one to suffer this. Ask anyone who survived the O.J. Simpson stuff.
Right. Exactly. And then we got P. Diddy over here, the AI P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Just won a lifetime supply of video.
Oh man.
Just disclaimer: this is not real.
Oh man.
Now we know where you got it. Right? The FBI.
Oh man.
You gotta look. This is like the Running Man. Remember that movie back in the day?
Yep.
That kind of predicted the coming of reality TV shows and all that stuff.
Well,
And
there's a movie, and I know that idiot Tarantino was saying some smack about. I think I brought it up last episode about Battle Royale, but that concept's been around for a long time.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. But what was interesting about Running Man is if you remember the movie, I own it. It's one of my favorites. The original. I haven't seen the second one. The current reboot doesn't look all that great.
Right.
But maybe it's just me, my bias.
Right.
When they pretend that they kill off Arnie's character,
Right.
and they use AI,
Yes.
digital graphics to make it look like he got offed, but he wasn't offed.
Right.
That always stuck in my head. So a lot of the stuff, again, going back to what I was saying, it's not new.
No, it's not new.
It's not
And we've
really-
been able to do that for a long time with blue screen and then green screen and CGI and
And even before doctoring photos.
I mean, there was a soldier that said that we've been using CGI and AI in the military and the media since 2006.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how we got Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Photoshop was because a lot of the digital imaging, we needed digital imaging because when we send out the satellites up into space and we get the images back to us, it comes in zeros and ones.
Right.
So we needed to transform all that into an actual image.
Mm.
So all that stuff started with NASA long ago.
Oh yeah, long time.
You know, it's just that all of a sudden you get some Nimrod like Elon going, "Hey, I just bought this American patent from 1950. It's brand new."
Right.
Like, dude, that's just called the Jepsons. It's the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Chill out.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you and I are individuals. We're not political people. I don't even think anyone's really watching this show. Yeah, it's like this is just like doing what we love. We like to talk, it's like, and we haven't gotten any death threats yet. At least I haven't. I mean, I've gotten warnings about,
I ain't got shit. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Really?
your break. I'm not in.
Really?
We're not influencers. We're old men.
Exactly. It's like what?
We're like the two puppets in the Muppet Show heckling in the corner.
Yeah, look at that stupid Fozzie Bear. Yeah. By the way, one of my favorite British insults is to call someone a Muppet.
Oh, really?
Fucking Muppet. I love that. Beautiful. Because it's not even like a puppet. You're a Muppet. You're like
right. This is my favorite clip of the week out of the zillions that I sent you. This one's my favorite.
Let's see.
This one's I love this. Let's see if we get the. See, this one has the volume right here, right? The volume.
Either you're going to resign, Trump's going to fire you, or you will be impeached. Whatever you choose, the American people will have justice,
He's shitting herself.
Secretary, and you will be held accountable. I'm going to make sure of that every single day. Either you're going to resign.
I love that.
Or is she going to shoot a dog?
Right.
Can you believe she's a grandma?
Really?
She's a grandma.
She's got.
Well, technically, I guess at our age, we could be grandpas too.
Technically, my daughter's going to be 30 this year, so yeah, I could be a grandfather.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any kids.
I'm a grand uncle.
From Latin perspectives, once your kid's over 15, you can be a grandparent.
From a lot of different cultures, yeah.
From a Bronx perspective, I remember being in the 6th grade and girls that were like 12 that were pregnant.
Yeah.
We had these girls that were triplets, and they were like 2 of the 3 were pregnant. We were like, how did that happen?
That's something that I have to say that I don't see here in Europe.
Right.
But then again, they believe in sex education.
Right.
In other words, cap that crap.
Right. Right.
We're not going to do it. Just cap it.
Right. Exactly. It's really crazy. We're 2 minutes from the 2-hour mark. This is our longest episode in a while.
It has been.
Any closing remarks? It kind of went fast. I was just watching the snowfall the whole time. Just like,
any closing remarks? I don't know, man. I think that's just we're gonna have to buckle up for 2026.
Yeah.
I think we're headed for some sort of economic crash.
Yeah.
This AI thing's gonna pop. These idiots having decided to push into different technologies because a lot of the venture capitalists have pulled their stupid money into cat videos, and and we're gonna be we're gonna be caught holding the bag everywhere,
right?
And these guys are gonna run off like bandits. I think they have all these secret cities, not because we're gonna have a nuclear war, it's because we're gonna want to lynch these bastards. So they're like, I'm out.
Right.
I don't know where they're gonna spend this money.
Right.
So that's my closing remarks. And we should have a year in review at some point.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Coming to the end of the year.
What day is New Year's Eve?
Beats me. I know Christmas is a Thursday.
Hey Siri, what day is New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve is on Wednesday, the 31st of December, 2025.
Well, if you're off, maybe we can do an episode in the middle of the week. It's like,
Sure, no problem. Just let me know.
yes.
I'm in. I'm in to sit here and rant like an old man.
Yes.
We should actually just call it Two Old Guys Ranting.
Two old guys ranting.
With a little bit of comics.
What are you working on comic book wise lately?
Comic book wise, we're working on an adaptation of a very obscure Alexander Dumas book, but I'm just at the design stages.
Nice.
Right now, I'm working on a mural, which is a gift for my better half, Susie.
Oh, very nice.
It's for the house. And yeah, so I'm reading a lot. Been reading Franz Fanon's Black Skin, White Masks, which is a very important book. Goes into the whole colonized mind thing. Really good book. And reading up a lot on vampires. Not only because of current events.
Hold on a second, real quick.
Yeah. So yeah. So while Ray's gone, you get to sit with Uncle Miguel. I don't know if anyone wants to ask me any questions, because I don't know if anybody's over here watching any of this.
Yeah. Your recommendation, and I got this, the Taipan.
Oh, Taipan, yes.
That's by James Clavell.
Yep.
A novel of Hong Kong. Got it. I'm going to read it. That's going to be my little break read there.
Excellent.
And then I'm working this stuff here. So this is my comic. This is really quick. This is like the new A World Without Superheroes Volume 2, Number 3, which are magazines formats. I'm no longer doing comic book format. And then this is
cool. So it's wider, right?
Yeah, it's wider. Because these pages I actually worked on. It was 9 by 12, the original art.
Okay.
So that's some of the stuff. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in on this. Oh, I gotta remove it. Oops. And then
because the cool thing, once you get it in digital, you can make it as big as you freaking want.
Oh yeah,
that's the beauty.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
you know. So for those of you who might think I'm anti-digital because of the AI thing, I'm not.
Right. Oh no, man, digital is good. So this is like some of the stuff that. So this is now we're going into the Reagan era. Now what's funny is like I originally wrote this story in 1993, but I didn't like the art, the way the guy drew it. Then I redrew it in the early 2000s. Then I didn't like the way I drew it. Then I did it again in 2012. So this story was written in 1993.
Wow. Wow.
But I finally put it together. This is actually one of the original pieces. This thing here, this is actually new. I kind of Mod Podged it. So this section here is all new.
Nice.
2025, and then I merged it with the other artist. His name was Jose something. I forget. It's been like I haven't spoken to that guy in almost 30 years. So this was his original piece, which I love this piece here. But he had drew like Reagan with shoulder blades. He kind of looked like Count Dracula, and I was like, that doesn't look like him. Yeah, this is also one of his original panels. Here I had just inked it over, but that was his art there. So I just saved out of the original art. It was just 2 pages, and then I merged another comic book that I had previously that just did terrible in sales. It didn't move. So I was like, you know what? It was actually intended to be part of this book. So I actually merged 2 comic books into one. And the format is different because you can see that it's 11 by 17.
Right.
So you can see, but you know,
the border.
The border. But this is actually going to be glue. So it's the big gap in the middle you're not going to see. That's the binding.
Yeah.
The binding section. And then it's also like Marvel used to do reprints. So in the middle of the story, one of the flashbacks is issue 4 of Volume 1, World Without Superheroes. but with new scenes that were never shown.
Neat.
You know, like, so there you have like 7. I took like a few pages of a flashback and then went back. So, and then you have 2006, where Muhammad X, which is inspired by Muhammad Ali, receives the power. So it's an alternate story of how Black Power actually got his suit. And I actually put the yellow suit, which we actually removed because his suit is purple in the comics, but originally his suit was yellow. And then when we were giving out free posters at Comic-Con with this yellow suit, he ended up using it for the signal years later, but we had since changed it to purple. So I brought it back just to say, fuck you, DC. So that's the...
Always good to say fuck you, DC.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, we got you know, some biblical stuff, Babylon the Great.
That's where that image came from.
Yes. And the Book of Tommy, which is the diary of one of the characters, and he's talking about the war in heaven, Mother Earth, and you know, which also was an idea that came out of my brain back in the early 1990s. I had a journal. It was basically like this. It was basically this journal of what do you call it was
dream, like a dream journal.
I guess it was kind of like an art sketchbook that I had from the 90s. And then people thought it was important. I was just ballpoint pen drawing stuff. And I started redrawing some of the stuff and integrating this comic book. It was called The American Prophecy. And I never published it, but it was these dreams that I had and ideas that I had about where I saw the country going. And actually, a lot of it's happened. I'm not a prophet or anything, but just kind of being, you know, as a creator, as a writer, sometimes you're on the cusp of stuff that's going to happen. Like
well,
all these
we
guys that wrote about
tend to take all these things and process it.
Right.
All these things that are happening. The 1990s was very, well, we just came out of the Cold War. So we were still dealing with a little bit of that apocalyptic thing.
Yes. And then I grew up a Christian. So, you know.
And you grew up Christian, yeah.
So the end of the world was always on the brain, you know, like it was a real thing, you know, like we believed that the world was going to end. Like, and, you know, I remember when the Michael Keaton movie was announced in '89, they were like, oh, Batman's going to come out this summer. I was like, oh, damn, that would be cool to watch, but the world's going to end. And it's like, and you know, I mean, I haven't been a Christian for many years, but I mean, if you think about these Bible thumpers and the government and these followers of Trump, I would not discount that that's how they see things, as, well, the world's going to end, so we have to do this. We have to massacre these Muslims because the world's going to end and God's coming back, and we have to prepare the way, and Israel has to take over Jerusalem, and they have to call the world one world government, and then we have to have the Antichrist, and then we have to have the rapture, and then, you know, so that's why they're on board with it, because they believe that this is the way, you know.
I think it's a lot that, but I think there's another cynical side. The ruling ones who go, we don't believe any of this shit, but we need to get this shit from what we want. So we're going to tell these assholes over here, yeah, the underworld's coming. When's it coming? Tomorrow. Really? Yeah. So it's like a shepherd herding sheep.
Right.
And they've been doing it for decades, man. Like decades. And of course, good luck talking to anyone about climate change or anything that might actually end us. Or disrupt our civilization, because they're like, well, the world's going to end anyway. So you're talking to a brick wall with any of that. The other thing, too, is there's a very insidious side, I find, with all the apocalyptic talking. It starts to get people not wanting to participate in society. So you start to curve people who might actually be very productive and competitive in the society to go, fuck it. Why am I going to study? Why am I going to do this? Everything's going to fall apart. Right? So it keeps us all in check. And it works beautifully for the ruling class. So that's my take anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're a little too early for New Year's, but I think one of the things I hope for 2026 is that we stop. Like we have, like, you had political correctness, right? You had Latinx and all these terms, and homelessness became unhoused. I hope for 2026 we stop calling Mexicans and native Indians, from South America and Central America. Just call them what they are, natives, and stop calling them illegals, because
Well,
the
to add
border
to your
crossed them.
point,
They didn't cross the border, right?
right? And to add to your point, this is one of my things. I know everyone makes it seem like it's far left. Far left, true far left has always been about workers and owners. Always. This is just the way it goes. But for whatever reason, we think that, if we change the label, this is going to make everything much better.
Right.
We're not calling them homeless or unhoused. They're still out on the street.
They're still on the street, right?
Call
them what you want. The situation is the same.
Yeah, like, can't call them inmates. Okay, fine. I won't call them inmates if it insults them.
Right,
but really,
can't afford to get out.
Right? So these aren't providing solutions. It's like, hey, the Titanic's sinking. All right, let's move the chairs around.
Right. Right.
So I think we have to, I hope that, to sort of piggyback off what you said, I hope that we start to think that we have to start thinking in a process of how to solve our problems.
Right.
Maybe I'm being too optimistic.
Instead of relabeling it, right? 20% off. It's like it's Latinx light.
We're not Negroes anymore. We're black.
Right.
We're not black anymore. We're African American.
Right.
We're still treated like shit. Right? It's like, this doesn't change the condition of what we're living in.
Right.
Might make us feel a little better.
It's rebranding, that's all. But
it's just like when they try to, we're going to co-opt the N-word. No, you're not.
Right. Yeah, like KKK went to alt-right. Oh, they're not neo-Nazis and they're not KKK, they're alt-right.
Still racist.
You're an alternative, right? Oh, okay. But now they changed
Unless you're Nick Fuentes.
Right.
When the police asks you if you're a white nationalist, you say, no, monsieur. I'm Mexican.
Right. Right. Well, there's a lot of whites in Mexico, right? They were colonized by the French and the Germans, right? At one point.
Oh, the Spanish? The Spanish are not considered white.
Right.
Not by the Nazis.
Right.
They're not considered white. They might look white. Even when they immigrate to the United States, they're forced to check off Latino, not European.
Well, even a lot of Palestinians are blonde hair and blue-eyed too.
Yeah.
In the videos,
there was a time when Swedes weren't considered white. White was English. Then it was Germans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Swedes.
Right?
Yeah, it's fucking
Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, Anglo-Saxons, man. British all the way.
Yeah.
And then they didn't consider the Irish freaking white. They didn't consider the Scots white.
Well, the Irish are mixed with black tribes, right? From back in the
day. But then they were like, well, our numbers are kind of depleting. We're gonna add them.
Right.
It's so stupid. And we all sort of fall into this.
It's dumb. I actually made a post today about that, about being asked, where are you from all the time? Where are you from? You don't look American. Where are you from? Where are your parents from? It's like,
there's this awesome video. I gotta find it and send it to you. It's probably about 15, possibly 20 years old.
Right.
And it's this rally. White people complaining about illegals.
Right.
And along comes this Native American dude who, I swear to you, Ray, looks like he jumped out of one of those quintessential Native American, the profile, the skin color. He's got the flowing fucking hair with a stroller and a baby knapsack. And he's like, he goes, illegal. And then he starts going off on them. You're all illegal.
Right, you're all illegal. All of you. Fuck
we
off.
should have put up a wall to keep you guys out. I was like, that's my favorite video, man.
Yeah.
Anyone who says, where are you from? And they're not Native American.
Right.
Really needs to reevaluate. And by the way, 60% of Europeans in the United States, that meaning white people, whatever that means, came to the United States in the 20th century. 60%. So the other 40% are
Right.
there from the Mayflower or whatever God else knows,
Right.
God knows when. 40%. The rest are newbies.
Right.
So them asking anyone of our color, complexion, whatever, where we from, they
Right.
really got some nerve.
Big time.
They
Big
got some
fucking
nerve.
time. It's just, it's like no one can claim that, you know. No one
No.
can claim that. And then that's why and then the thing is they need numbers too. That's why ICE is just grabbing anybody, because they need numbers to show that crime is up, you know.
Mhm.
But the reality is that they don't have the numbers because there isn't that much crime that's going on. So they have to justify it by just grabbing anybody. And then if you know, put it this way, you assault an ICE agent, now your charges are from immigration to assaulting an officer. Now you could stay in there. So you got to allow yourself to get beat up, which is fucking ridiculous. You can't even defend yourself.
But government tyranny, man. That's why we got the guns.
You know?
But we got the
Right.
guns because of government tyranny. Oh, hold on a
Right.
second. My boy told me I can't fight government tyranny. You know, it's astonishing to me, just the level of insanity.
Yeah,
But
we
talk
get the
about
guns.
numbers.
Yeah.
Talking about numbers, there's this obsession with the Nick Fuentes crew
Mhm.
of falling numbers for white Americans.
Oh yeah.
First of all, Europeans, because white is not a real thing. Europeans, there's a collection of different cultures that we call Europe, have always been the minority on this freaking planet. One,
Right.
lacking melanin. Two, when was the last time that America even took mixed seriously? I remember in the early 2000s, I'm looking like, oh, biracial, what? What do you mean biracial? This is a country that runs on the one drop rule. If you got any black in you, you're black. The cops will treat you as such too. You'll find out real fast when the billy club starts hitting you as to how white adjacent you are. So
Exactly.
they're cooking the numbers because they're so paranoid of being the minority, as if the
Right.
rest of us are going to even bother to go out of our routines to do the shit that they did because they had nothing else better to do.
Right.
You know, the lynching and all the other shit. It's astonishing, man. So yeah, I got my old guy rant in there. One last one. Did it. Sorry, man. But I'll do it again.
No, it's actually I was gonna well, we could go on forever, you know, just going into this. We could do a 12-hour marathon. Or even what's his face? That Cory Booker.
Cory Booker.
Cory Booker the shit out of this fucking thing.
But you know what? Man, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I'm sorry. If this video ever even gets like seen, I'm screwed.
Right.
But we'd say more than Cory.
Right.
I mean, like, I've paid attention to some of his stuff, and it's like, I mean, there's more meat inside of a bicycle tire. I'm like, you know.
I finally get the Instagram thing up. All right, this is. I guess we'll close with this ICE thing here. Let's.
Ice, baby.
Here we go. Let's see. Oh, where's the volume? Oops, starting. Oh, it's not working. Hold on a second.
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah, wild
technical difficulties. Let me stop the screen. There
you know what we're missing? We're missing Harvey Keitel. He could have it would be a political show. The wild sports of politics.
Right.
That would be awesome. Hi, I'm Howard Keitel. Here I am in Washington, D.C. And the orange mango. They're up to some bullshit again.
Here we go.
Our country in Iraq and you had your rights violated by our own government that you fought for and put your life on the line for in this country. That in and of itself is horrific. You told agents that you had served in the military. Is that correct?
Yes.
You clearly stated that you were a U.S. veteran and served this country. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you were violently arrested by ICE, you had no contact with your family the entire time that you were in detention by your own government that you served in Iraq. Is that correct?
Yes.
You missed your daughter's birthday while you were in detention, and your family had no idea where you were during the time that you were in detention. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think what the American public needs to understand is if this can happen to these 5 U.S. citizens that are standing in front of us and sitting here right now, it could happen to anyone. The Donald Trump government is now arresting and detaining United States citizens with no due process, no rights, no call to a lawyer, no call to family. That is the America that we live in today, and it's why we're here and what we're fighting against every single day with our partners in the Senate. You served our country in Iraq. You had your rights violated by our own government.
So I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, a lot of people talk a lot of stuff about Patton, Eisenhower, MacArthur. If you look up the bonus army and how they were the 3 generals who clamped down on the bonus army, who was who were basically camped out in front of the White House because they were asking for the bonuses that they were promised.
Right.
It's always been like that. You go back to Jefferson, the veterans got screwed over for that, for the Revolutionary War. Veterans have always been treated like shit.
Always.
And I hate, because I come from a military family, I know you come from one too.
Yep.
I hate how veterans are treated as though, oh, we're doing this and our veterans and our veterans. None of these people who say that crap give a shit about veterans and their families. None of them.
Not a one.
Not one.
No. They don't. Episode 12 is in the can. We're done. Yay.
Yay. I'm out.
The apocalypse is coming. Are you scared? Are you prepared? The masses are running, frantically running from their fears, running with their tears, running from their lives, running from that dark shadowed creature that hides deep inside.